Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I am going to talk about one of the interesting approaches in religious pluralism, one of the interesting trends in religious pluralism. And though this is not the popular approach, but somehow the propagator of this approach has made overlapping claims that religious scholars of religious pluralism or the pluralists have been insisting. So in many of the religious forums, you will find that this school or this trend will uh, propagate the same call um, put forward by the pluralist school, especially in terms of the idea of the unity in diversity, diversity in unity, and most importantly on the idea of equality of religions. But this school or this trend, syncretic trend, is somewhat different because of its unique way of interpreting religions, the nature of the religions, and the role of man in propagating these religions. So we're going to take a look at what they have to offer with regard to religious coexistence, with regard to religious existence, as well as with regard to the truth claim made by religion. All right, so basically syncretism is a philosophy, is a way of understanding or interpreting the existence of different religions. But this philosophy is inclined to combine, to amalgamate, to mix, and reconcile between the different religious beliefs. So they kind of take some of the elements from the different religions and either they combine into the existing religions, or in most of the cases they bring out or they come up with a new religion altogether. There is a combination of the different elements from the different religions. So they are actually adding one more religions to the existing number of religions. So this is very interesting, a very radical form. This is what I regard as a radical form of religious pluralism. And the reason why the syncretic approach has been propagated is none other than to appreciate the differences of religion, and I think most importantly because the propagators are trying to relate religion with tradition, with cultural aspects, with the local cultural aspect or ethnic racial aspect of the religion. And because it is a very much dependent on the context of the religious followers, then human has to somehow be tolerant of these differences, because religion is very much the product of the context of the experience of the people in particular time, in particular space. And for people who take syncretism or critical of syncretism, criticize it as trying to relativize the sacred. So it's sacralized relativism, giving relative interpretations of the sacred. Not only in terms of the understanding of the truth or the ultimate, but every types of the religious belief or doctrines in that particular religion. And of course, the most prominent and the most continuous call of a syncretic approach is they call to the equality of religions, yeah, equal truth of religions. And the syncretic is against, of course, exclusivism and particularity in religion, because they believe that if you speak about the truth or the ultimate about God, it should not be a monopoly or dominated by particular religion. I mean, it is, if it is good values, if it is positive things that bring positive changes in human life, that should be shared together and should not be the monopoly of certain people. Now, in general, I have mentioned just now about the characteristics of syncretic approach, and because of these characteristics of mixing, combining, reconciling from the different elements of religion, you will find that the syncretic approaches have introduced or have brought about many uh, types of syncretic religions. Now you can see on the slides now I have listed at least 5 of them, and I have removed two, the Unitarian. Oh yeah, Unitarian is there. I think I removed Sikhism, for an explicit reason that Sikhism has a solid name as a religion, a solid identity as a religion, and a solid scripture. Except that I don't put it here because it's more established, and it it is a totally a different religion from the, what you call that, this syncretic approach. Yeah, even though it's is a product of syncretic ways of combining between Hinduism and Islam. Yeah, but I would rather go to all these syncretic religion, which are very much alarming in terms of uh, their ways of introducing their religion, which means they are very flexible, and they didn't have so much concrete form of religion, in comparison to Sikhism. Just now, yeah, even though I said that Sikhism is one of the, perhaps example of syncretic religion because of the combinations between the two. And there is also another figure which is very much famous and prominent in terms of his syncretic approach, which is Kabir. Yeah? But because Kabir is a poet, and he's he does not really establish a full-fledged religion like you have seen in front of you in the slide. So I decided to go to this so you can have a better and clearer picture of what syncretic religion is like, and how they present themselves, and how they perceive differences of religion. Now, one of the most interesting and still sustaining until today uh, syncretic religion, and they don't mind to be introduced as syncretic religion, is Bahaism. As a matter of fact, they regard it as a credit to them because they are able to appreciate the differences of religions, and take differences of religion in positive manner. This is Bahaism. If I can show you the slides here, or not the slide, the website. It's very sophisticated website. So Bahaism is a religion introduced by a guy, yeah, by the name of Baha'u'llah. Yeah, Baha'u'llah. Perhaps you want to have a look at this. Yeah, Baha'u'llah, and he's a Persian, and he has this is in the late 19th century. Yeah, late 19th century, and his name is Abdul Baha, and you can read that yourself, but uh, he has stipulated his belief, in the sense that he believed that God is the God of everyone and everybody. Let's take a look at the what we call it, the website. Yeah, And say, for example, you can take a look at what he propagates as essential in the religion. Yeah? The life of the spirit. Yeah, so they believe in the eternal soul. This is something like Hinduism, and they also believe in God that creates. Yeah? God who creates. Yeah? And they project is universal relationship. I think this is also another um, distinguished characteristic of Bahaism, the project brotherhood. Yeah? And of course, they are very prominent in terms of their effort or initiative calling for universal peace. Yeah, for universal peace. So you can find that, say for example, let's take a look how they perceive devotion or worships in their communities, what type of worships that they basically worships in among the Baha'i is like spiritual spiritual engagement. Is spiritual engagement. They have offerings. Yeah, they have showing, casting their gratitude. Yeah. So they have also gatherings. Yeah. So they have gatherings. And what else? So they have devotion activities in the institution of the Mashriku al-Adhkar. So they have certain buildings or certain focal point of worship whereby everybody is leading towards. Yeah. So basically this religion is the religion that goes beyond one context, one race or culture, ethnicity, so on and so forth. Yeah. Um, so let's take a look at the idea of God here. See, they also believe in revelation. They believe in humanity, believe in God, believe in the natural world, yeah, believe in the nature, the beauty, richness. So basically, they are trying to incorporate every positive elements that they have learned from uh, the different religions. They basically, with regard to the scriptures, they basically take any of the scriptures prevalent in this world and they believe it. With regard to the place of worship, they have the house of justice. They call it the house of justice as a place whereby all Baha'is went to sort of pilgrimage. So this is with regard to the Baha'i. Let's take a look at the other group, which is very interesting as well, the Brahmo Samaj. The Brahmo Samaj. Let's take a look at the Brahmo Samaj. What Brahmo Samaj is propagating. Yeah. So this is the website of Brahmo Samaj. Yeah, very informative. Many of them are also learned. Yeah, many of them are also learned. And well, Brahmo Samaj is actually pioneered by Ram Mohan Roy. This is a person. Yeah, this is a person, Ram Mohan Roy. Somewhere around 1828. Yeah? So this is at the beginning of the 19th century. Yeah? And Ram Mohan Roy, apart from propagating syncretism in religion, he is also regarded as a modern Hindu reformer. He's very much respected among the Hindus. Uh, Especially the modernist Hindu. And he propagated the idea of unity of God. I mean, if I speak about Hinduism, I believe you are familiar with the idea of polytheism, yeah, the flexibility of the concept of God in Hinduism. But Ram Mohan Roy is a Hindu who believed in the unity of God, a single God. Yeah? And he appreciates the combination of elements from Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. So his encounter with the Christians and with the Muslims, so for example, has made it, uh, you know, that he was influenced by the two religions, yeah, and therefore he propagates the idea of unity. Now, I forgot to say just now what Brahmo Samaj means. Yeah, Brahmo is actually, coming from the word Brahma, or the god in Hinduism, and Samaj means society. So Brahmo Samaj is the society of God, the society that project the idea of God. And so, as I mentioned just now, that they are believing that the Brahmo Samaj believe in the single God. Yeah, they have no specific ritual. Yeah, but they are propagating people into spirituality, into the idea of universal theism. Yeah. After Ram Mohan Roy, there was another person by the name of Ramakrishna. Yeah? And Ramakrishna also established another, what you call that, another um, movement. Yeah, another movement. And this movement also called for syncretic approach. This is called Ramakrishna Mission. Yeah, Ramakrishna Mission. When this happened at the end of the 19th century, so he was believed to call this during 1883. Now, what you can see in the slides here is the website of the Ramakrishna Mission. Yeah. So in Balurma, yeah, in India, and so this is a statue of Ramakrishna. Yeah. They call his religion New Dispensation. Yeah. So unlike Ram Mohan Roy, who did not invent a new religion altogether, but interpret Hinduism from a combination of the three religions. Yeah. Ramakrishna, however, introduced a new so-called religion or movement, accurately speaking, movement lah. But then this movement also, bring about a kind of different approaches in comparison to the Hindus' approaches of pure approaches or Hindu's way of understanding religion. So, what did new dispensation call for? The new dispensation called for mankind to unite together to believe in one God. So, basically, this movement focusing on calling people to believe in the single God. And looking at his statue, then you know that he follows certain ways, certain school in religions, yeah, meditational school, spiritual school. So this is what he called for people of religions to do meditation, yeah, to practice breathing techniques, to be able to meditate. And this is how he projects the rituals to be taken in this mission or in this syncretic approach of him. Yeah. So, and Ramakrishna Mission managed to get many followers, yeah, because it's very friendly in that sense, and very peaceful movements and calling people together. Yeah, so he was very successful. And another interesting movement, and this is based in the, if just now I've given you three examples, and these three examples are centralized in the land of India. Now we go to a group of people from the western part who call for syncretic approach in religions, in the aim to propagate the idea of what we call that unity of religions. So this is Theosophical Society. Yeah, Theosophical Society. I have with me here the website, the headquarters website, the websites in Malaysia as well as the websites in Selangor. Hopefully the link work well so we can have a look at the website and see what they have to offer. So this one is the Theosophia Selangor Lodge in Malaysia. Yeah. So basically, okay, I have yet to explain what they are looking for, but let's take a look at what the Theosophical Society is calling for. Yeah, this Theosophical Society is a society that promote God, Theo, as you can see from the word God, and Sophical from the word philosophy. So promoting God via philosophy, your understanding God via philosophy, and the propagator of this movement were Helena Petrona in the 1831 to 1891. So born 1831, in the same period, yeah, the late 19th century, and then Colonel Henry S. Alcott, more or less the same period. And then at the beginning of the 20th century, we have Annie Besant, 1847 to 1933. So Annie Besant called for unity of God and unity of religion, even though she also believed in incarnation, and she thought that incarnation to be the doctrine should be embraced by people of different religions. You know, so you can find some elements of Christianity that dominate the belief there, even though they do not want to any belief system to dominate. But it seems that for Annie Besant, she interpreted the incarnation as the, you know, as the major among the major doctrines, and then also Annie Besant propagates universal brotherhood, universal brotherhood. All right. So you can also see that, yeah, how they promote Theosophical Society, and this Theosophical Society goes beyond one ethnicity, you know, one race and one culture. It's actually a religion with global enrollment from different parts of the world. Yeah. So if you can look at the website, I hope the website here works very well. You can see what they are calling for. Basically, this movement propagates for spiritual approaches. Yeah? Spiritual approaches. Well, I guess why spiritual is approaches is important, meditation is important, because you know what has happened at the during the critical period of the 18th century, 19th century, you know, the industrial revolution, you know, enlightenment earlier, and you know, modernism, yeah, modernization as a process that has what you call that, demolish religious values and the importance of religion and spirituality in human life. So I guess when this movements was introduced, it was to, you know, fill in the gap experienced by people who are longing for religion. Yeah? And what about in Singapore? There is also this movement in Singapore. Maybe you may want to check them, and you know, perhaps in future, if we have any um, field work, you can have the, you know, the Singapore Lodge Theosophical Society as your respondent. You can see how they also relate to the works of Blavatsky, yeah, Helena Petrovna, and also Alcott. Yeah. And also they have meditation course. So basically, meditation is a form of devotion in this group. Yeah. All right. So that is with regard to the Theosophical Society. Let's take a look at the last group. This group also is developed within the Western context, and they have been in existence since the early 20th century. 1993, so late 20th century, late 20th century, and they were some of them wanted to be known as Christian, but departing from the common Christian understanding, yeah, especially this theory or concept of incarnation, or and the concept of Jesus as God. So they basically take Jesus as human being instead of God. So, and this Unitarian Universalist Association was instrumental in the Parliament of World Religions in 1993. They were very strong, gave very strong support to Hans Küng. Remember, I've been talking about Hans Küng, and he promoted global ethics in the World Parliament of Religions in 1993. So the Unitarian was among the strong supporter of global ethics. Yeah. So this is the website. Yeah. You can let's take a look what they believe in terms of their beliefs and principles. Of course, there are many. This will take some time if I were to um, to elaborate, but in a very quickly manner, so you can see that our beliefs are diverse and inclusive here. So basically, they subscribe to the inclusive approach. They have also propagate 7 principles, and then they believe in the embracing diverse teaching from the different religions and traditions. Yeah? And they call the ultimate or God as the higher power, the higher power. All right. So so this is it about the syncretic approach, and let me see if I still have anything to add to that. I don't think so. So basically, I have presented to you the examples of these syncretic approaches. Um, in the way they perceive diversity of religions, and as I mentioned earlier, this group, regardless of the different names and the different identities, they have an overlapping cause for unity of religions, for fraternity of humanity, and most importantly, they are together in calling for equality of religions, that all religions are the same, and because of that one should not supersede each other or should not claim superiority against each other. Now, since religious pluralism is a concept that go against equality, against superiority of religion and exclusive religious exclusivism. So I guess that's the reason why many scholars, especially the syncretics themselves, regard their approaches as compatible to religious pluralism. Yeah, and therefore they have. And also they have overlapping claims with religious pluralism, and that make it interesting for them to call or to identify themselves as pluralists, even though they may not represent the majority or the dominant concept or group within the pluralists. Yeah. So that's about it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again in the next meeting. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.